Hello, hello, hello. So just waiting for a couple people to stream in. As soon as we see a couple people in the chat, we are gonna get started. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for joining. Thanks everybody. What? What is? What's going on here, bro? Um. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, just waiting for a couple people to stream in. It's just me right now, but also, yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Today we're talking about what it's like to be sponsored, bro. You know, some of you don't know, but I do. So we want to talk about it. As people stream in, let me put my notes together quickly. Um, huge team riders. Yeah, I think that's good enough, man. We'll think about everything else as we go along. Anyway, welcome one and all. Today's podcast, today's video is on what it's like to be a sponsored longboard rider or longboard skater or whatever it is that you want to call it. Yeah, man. And we're going to be talking a lot about Landyachtz. Because they're the ones who sponsored me. I haven't really been sponsored by anyone else. I received a lot of free products from a lot of different companies, but no, they've not sponsored me. The only ones who sponsored me ever are Landyachtz. I do have good working relationships with a lot of companies out there, though. Team riders. Let's go meet the team. Let's see if this is still there. Um, see if I'm still there. I'm gone, bro. They removed me. Very interesting. Um, but I'm sure I'm still there, dude. Let me just Landyachtz. I swear these guys don't always update this stuff. Anyway. Um, yeah, bro. Uh, let's do it. Let's do it, man. If you're in the chat, say hi. But yeah, let's get started, man. Let's get started. Okay. So, what's it like to be sponsored? So the first thing is I want to talk about how does one get sponsored, right? How do you accomplish this? How do you go from just being a nobody to having the backing of a huge team, you know, people wanting to send you free stuff, like how does that happen? What do you need to do to accomplish that? So first thing you have to do is um skate. Obviously, be a longboarder, bro. Get on a board, skate, film yourself, and you really need to look at the incentive that a company has to sponsor you. Is it going to be financial? Most likely, it is financial, right? The reasons most companies want to sponsor people is because of like financial motivation. They want people out there like demonstrating to other people that the products are great, the products skate great, they work great, and they want the backing of like someone cool as well. So let me just put some notes here. Be cool, be friends, be um uh, so there's a couple ways that you can get sponsored, right? So the first way is, be a great writer, right? Be a great writer, have like a massive social media following. For example, if you're someone like, let's say, Greg. No, I don't know who this is. Let's see. Gregoire Schwab or like Diego Poncelet, right? If you have a massive following, like 100 something thousand followers, of course, of course, everyone's gonna want to sponsor you, bro. Like they're gonna look at that, they're gonna assume that there are a lot of eyeballs on you, therefore eyeballs on the product. So of course, you know, they're gonna want to sponsor you. The other thing that you could be is be a really cool guy or cool gal, right? You're really cool, really chill, well liked in your community. Maybe you'll get sponsored. That's a really weak reason. Okay. Be a community leader. Another important way that you can get sponsored is if you're a community leader in your community. For example, I'm a community leader in the Kenyan longboarding community. If there was anyone who had any interest in like selling products in the Kenyan longboarding community, they would probably look to me to be sponsored, right? So that I can push the product to the local community. The other important dude, this is not going well. Um, this is not going well. The other key one that a lot of people don't really talk about is you have to be friends, right? You have to be okay. I think I need to restart this shit, but no, I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna fucking push through. I haven't talked to anyone the whole day. I haven't really had conversations with people, so I'm like slowly coming out of my shell. I feel really awkward and really weird, and the words just aren't coming out the way that I'm used to them coming up. Anyway, the other way that you can get sponsored is if you have a good working relationship with the company. So how does that happen, right? So for example, maybe you happen to be in the scene with whoever's in the company, and then they're like, "Oh, hey man, really like you. Let's throw you some gear, right?" Um, or what else? Or like, yeah, because that's happened to a lot of people that I know. People who aren't necessarily like great riders, who don't necessarily have like a lot of skill, just from being in proximity with where that company is based and attending a lot of the same sessions. They happen to be flowed a lot of gear or happen to be asked for opinions on like different things. And in that way, they're able to get sponsored, simply building up that relationship. And you do see that happen. You do see it happen that way for a lot of people. There are a lot of great riders out there, but not a lot of them are sponsored. But there are a lot of people who are great friends with X company and they do end up being sponsored or being flowed a lot of free products. So that is one way that you can get sponsored. Simply being like in the same space, simply being good friends with those people. So yeah, apart from the reasons we've listed, having a large social media following, not necessarily being the best rider, or in itself being a great rider, can really like uh, get you to being sponsored. The other way is how I got sponsored, right? So have like a what's the word? Like there's a financial incentive for a company to sponsor someone like me because of my blog, because of the type of content I was doing at the time. Like a lot of people would come to my website, my YouTube channel, for like reviews and for other sort of content. So the financial sort of motive would be like, oh, hey, if you give this guy a product, he's gonna do reviews on our products, and that's gonna like give us a little bit of money, probably make us more money than the cost of sending products to him. So yeah, so that's one way that like companies tend to look at things and tend to sponsor people. But mostly it's financial or if they like you. So try to get the company to like you. And it can be really difficult because like honestly, like how am I gonna have like an overlap with Landyachtz who happen to be in Canada, right? It's very difficult. So it is really tricky. But so if you're not in the physical proximity with a lot of these companies, you're gonna have to like go a different way, right? And you're going to have to get into contact with the company. Look, if you're out on social media and you go to Landyachtz and you're like, hey, Landyachtz, please sponsor me, right? You're not going to get anywhere, right? Because through social media, you're going to mostly be talking with like the content managers or like the content or social media management team. and they have very loose connections with the team manager. The team manager is the people you really need to be talking to. If you're DMing these companies, unless the social media manager really likes you or you stand out in some way, it's very unlikely that they're going to forward your sponsor me message towards them, right? In the past, people used to do like sponsor me videos, which I don't know if they ever worked. Maybe they did work for some for a handful of individuals. I don't know, like never worked for me. I never made one. I would harass a lot of people on social media, but never really got sponsored in the end. The best way is to either ask like a team rider that you know or that you can talk to hook you up with like the team manager's contact information. So email, phone number, I don't know if phone number works, or even Instagram, and develop a relationship that way. Maybe not necessarily start asking like, oh hey dude, can you sponsor me? Maybe start with something else. Maybe start talking about like, I don't know, man. Slowly build a relationship and then see if you can get like free products and then go from there. And the people who do get sponsored aren't necessarily always great riders, as I've said. It's mostly the people who put themselves out there. So yeah, don't don't reach out to most of these big companies' social media. Like if I was to reach out to Rain Longboards, right? The person probably responsible for sending products isn't going to be on social media as well. Look at all these followers. Imagine having to compete with all of them for this company's attention. Like, it's not going to work well. The exception to that rule is probably like smaller brands like oh, like this guy, right? Baseboards. Smaller brands, like only handful of thousands of followers. Yeah, if I reach out to baseboards or most of you, they're most likely going to see your DM and they're most likely going to respond to you. They're probably a small company, they don't have a big like production and like social whatever budget, so your chances may fall through. But it's much easier to make really compelling cases with like smaller brands like this, right? But the truth is, um, you're probably not going to get sponsored. Not gonna get sponsored. ATM. Longboarding is doing really poorly in terms of like money and budget and that kind of shit. So the chances of you actually getting sponsored are gonna be really, really low, bro. Like shit's not sweet, bro. It's yeah, people are barely affording to like pay for like the employees and stuff like that. So growing the sponsored team is going to be quite difficult. So if you are sponsored, like you are very, very lucky. Um, but yeah, of course, some big brands out there still support a lot of people. So yeah, there is that. Let me let's scroll up. Um, but yeah, Landyachtz is huge, man. Landyachtz is huge. So yeah, finally, let's talk about what it's like to be sponsored. I'm pretty sure I also butchered the um the writing on the fucking picture thing, cover image or whatever. But whatever. Yeah, what's it like to be sponsored? What do you provide in return for getting sponsored? What do you get? Finally, what's it like to be sponsored by Landyachtz? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it a little bit. I'm putting my picture here to hide the content. What's it like to be sponsored? Number one, being sponsored is kind of awesome, but it's also kind of bad. I will start by saying that my sponsored relationship with Landyachtz is a little bit different to what probably other people had. But yeah, so probably I should start out with how I got sponsored, right? Let me just move this here. Close that. Yeah. So yeah, what's it like? How did I get sponsored? So Landyachtz actually reached out to me via email. I don't know. I'm showing you guys my emails. Ooh. Landyachtz did reach out to me via email. They're like, "Hey, dude, we've been noticing you on social media. Maybe I actually just reach out. Let me just Landyachtz. Um, let's see this. What did they say? Nope. Sponsorship. Um, okay, let me also put here. Okay. Um, let me see. Um, yeah, so I got an email from the team manager who was at Landyachtz at the time. Let me read it out to you. He says, "Hi, Book. I hope you're doing well and staying healthy." He says, "My name is Dan, team manager at Landyachtz. Has been aware of your Instagram account and really enjoying your review content for longboarding products and skate videos. Now that our international shipping is back in action, I would like to get in touch about sponsoring you in our flow program." Um, but yeah, bro. So he went on to say our partnership would involve from Landyard 3 complete setups, apparels, hat, clothing, slide gloves, a couple sets of wheels, reposts of videos and photos on social media and the website. From me, providing video and photo content, tagging Landyachtz on social media, reviewing Landyachtz product. They should have underlined that shit because that's genuinely what they absolutely wanted, and spreading the stoke of the brand. So yeah, talked to them, and yeah, it sounded pretty sweet. So I decided to go ahead with it. Honestly, it was probably during that COVID time when a lot of people had money and they were just willing to take a couple more risks. And yeah, bro. It was sick, man. They were down to send me a lot of products. It was actually so good. They would send me each year. I was entitled to 3 complete setups and then a bunch of wheels, and then like also between each year, like I'd ask for some specific things or ask for XYZ, and they'd send it out to me. Um, and they'd send it out to me specifically because I requested it. But I know for other people on the team, they didn't have that same relationship and they weren't able to get like as many products as they wanted or as many wheels or as many trucks. They were only entitled to a specific number of things per year. So my relationship with Landyachtz was a little bit different. What was also different about it was because like my job was reviewing content and other stuff. Like I was allowed to sort of write other companies' products and post other companies' products. It was really weird and actually a little bit stressful. And maybe the reason I agreed to be sponsored by Landyachtz, right, was because at that time I don't really think I was getting a lot of free stuff. Let me actually just confirm. They DM'd me in June of 2020. What was I getting um, in return? What was I doing in 2020? 2020 is 5 years ago, right? So yeah, I was just doing a couple shitty reviews, bro. Couple reviews. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too. I don't even know why they decided to sponsor me, bro. Like I wasn't doing anything insane, man. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what happened. I don't know why they decided to sponsor me, but they did. We got a comment in the chat. Let's see. Have I tried to place a rubber pivot in ZM1? No, I haven't, and I don't think I will. But probably someone could like try develop like a pivot cup for it, but I don't think I tried. But yeah, Landyachtz took a risk on me, man, and that partnership was quite weird, bro. It was actually quite stressful. So what they wanted in return, I gave them was reviewing Landyachtz products and then also tagging Landyachtz on social media and providing video and photo content, which I did. But it was also quite weird because like personally I wasn't like the best rider. Like kind of funny, but like a lot of the content they post of me would do really well on social media. Like this one got like millions of views for some reason, and like so many comments and stuff like that. Like loads of people like um commented on it. Like loads of people from India. I have no idea why, um, but yeah, it went viral in India, and then other people from Kenya as well. And then also on Twitter as well. Like there are a lot of people who are upset with the content, but also just kind of pushed the number of views it got. But yeah, dude, I didn't have any like crazy hills or crazy like skating opportunities. Um, yeah, the content that I posted wasn't particularly impressive. So yeah, dude, shout out Landyachtz for taking a chance on me and sponsoring me. So yeah, that was nice. And I do think I was a decent team rider. I did participate in a lot of content. I did share a lot about like the products and stuff like that. And yeah, I did pretty okay. And the partnership was really nice. Being sponsored by Landyachtz itself wasn't like anything special, but the person who really made it like super special for me was what's his name, Don Norberg, the team manager. He really looked out for me, still looks out for me. And he did leave Landyachtz after a while, but if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would have been able to get like um so many products, so and so many opportunities as well. And yeah, I think he really did look out for me. And maybe I don't know what happens behind the scenes, but I think he did like fight for me, which was really cool. So yeah, being sponsored, I think by a smaller company would have been a little bit different. Probably the amount of products I would have gotten would have been way different, and probably also the relationship I would have had would have been a little different as well. Did I put a question from the chat? Did I put an insert bushing in the ZM1? No, I haven't ever tried. I've been pretty happy with the spherical insert, so I haven't really tried. I have fitted one, so it does work, but I haven't skated with one. I prefer the spherical insert. So yeah, but yeah, if I was sponsored by like a smaller team, it would have probably been a little bit different. Like I probably would have had like a tighter relationship with some of the people there. I wouldn't say I'm sponsored by Comet, but I have a really strong working relationship with them. They have asked me to comment on like products and stuff like that, ask for my feedback as well. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? With Landyachtz being as big as it was, and also me being on the float team, I wasn't able to ever comment or get um they didn't directly ask me about feedbacks on the products, and I don't think that I ever would have had any like sway on how product was being made or on what was being made for the following year. They definitely did watch my reviews. They definitely did see what I had to say, but there were um eh, but there were people who were making product decisions, and I don't think I was able to ever directly influence that. I was also not really able, I was not really ever shown like specific things about like what products were upcoming or who was making what or what they were going to make for the next year. So I never really got any insight into that with smaller companies, even with like um smaller brands, right? People have approached me and asked me about like, oh, what about this XYZ, or send me products specifically for me to like review for them only, and talk to them about like what they need to improve, or is this a viable product, or just giving them my perspective. With Landyachtz, that never happened, bro. That never ever happened. I think if I was in Canada physically, I probably would have been included and been part of that like product making process. But because I was in Kenya, that never really happened, and I was never really a part of any group chats or Discord where like I was able to talk about um like product and stuff like that, product development, and maybe what the downhill scene would like to see. So yeah, that is the disadvantage of being sponsored by such a big company. It was great, got so much product, got so many opportunities, but what I really would have liked was to help develop some products that filled gaps that I saw in the market. And yeah, just being as big as there, that was never ever gonna be happening. There were also some lost opportunities. You guys see how huge this team is, yeah? Yeah, I just moved to Canada. It would be as easy as that. Yeah, bro. Need to find me like a Canadian wife or something, or whatever reason. Anyway, yeah, you see all these people on the team. I think there were limited opportunities to grow. To grow. I think um I don't know, man. Maybe I felt like because there was so many people on the team, there was so much competition for attention, right? If you work with a smaller brand, if you skate for a smaller brand, if you're sponsored by a smaller brand, I believe there's more opportunity for you to get like a pro model trucks, or pro model wheels, right? If you're like maybe six members on the team and you're one of the best, there's a huge possibility that you are probably going to get a pro model product, or at least a pro model version. With a team as huge as Landyard, you're competing with all these people, and for you to stand out and get a pro model made is going to be extremely difficult. Like And there's so many people here who've been on the Landyachtz team for years, decades even at this point. But how many of them have pro models? Very, very few. The people who do have pro models have been able to like really, really stand out and have been on the team for years, or Landyachtz has poached them from other teams. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of competition, and I felt there was very little room to grow or stand out. So yeah, it really depends on who you do get sponsored by. So Tanaka, I don't know how he's done it, but like I think he joined the Landyachtz team like a year ago or a year and a half ago. Now he already has a pro model on the way. Um, I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. He went to visit them in Canada. Um, so yeah. And then also like Colorado was good, man. Tell us about how AJ Habey is out there, man. Um, yeah, I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something else. Yeah. So also with then also being like in competition with a lot of people here, there's very limited opportunities for like paid trips, right? Um, Longboarding was popping off in like the 2000s, and at the time, like some people, yeah, I'm waiting for the Katana as well. The Sotanaka board is gonna be sick. He did reach out to me about getting one, about me reviewing it, and I told him yes if he pays for like shipping. So I haven't heard anything back. That was a couple months ago, but yeah, things happen slowly. If it was a smaller brand, bro, it'd probably be done by now. But a lot of projects happening at Landyachtz, and things have to move through a lot of hands. So there is that. Um, yeah, there was a trip that people wanted me to come out to the States, and there was a whole GoFundMe and everything like that. Landyachtz, being the multi-million-dollar brand that it is, should have been able to pay for that trip fully. It was only $3,000. For them, that's not that much. They should have 1,000% been able to pay all of that for me. I'm not saying like I'm bitter or anything. I'm just saying that Landyachtz should have seen that and then paid the whole thing. Instead, they donated to the GoFundMe and they're okay, hey, that's what we're gonna do. But really, they should have been able to pay for that. But then again, it's a really difficult thing um, for them to do. They have so many people to take care of, and it's going to show favoritism in one way or another. And probably would have made better financial sense for them to pay for like the team rider, like Dex, to go out, or for someone else to go out and do some other sort of crazy media opportunity. But I do think if they had me out there, they were like, hey, okay, look, we're going to pay for you to come to Canada. We're also going to sort your US visa. It's a lot of money for them, but I think like it would have paid off quite a bit financially for them, but I guess we'll never know. But yeah, they did donate to that. But then also there was like a weird like opportunity thing. Other times I've done like some weird shit where like I had this documentary that this girl called Jenna Prince did, and then like it was kind of tricky because then she did it for like a master's thesis. She was going to this uni in the UK. And then she also wanted to enter the documentary into some like what do you call it? Some film festivals. So she was asking me, hey, how can we do this? How can we get sponsorship for this? Then I was like, okay, we probably can ask Landyachtz. Maybe they'll send like $150. So she reached out to them, CC'd me on the email, and they sent her 500 USD, which is which to me was kind of crazy. Maybe I'm divulging too many details. I hope I'm not making enemies of anyone out there. But it's been a couple years anyway. So they gave her like 500 USD, and I kind of felt jealous at the time because I was like, why wasn't I ever given like hard cash to go do like some fun film projects? But also, I never really reached out and was like, hey, I have this film idea. I have this photographer, he's gonna charge XYZ. There's this trip that I want to do, go video XYZ stuff. It's gonna cost how much? I never ever did that. So I think if I did that and like I broke it down, they probably would have been like, okay, cool, here's X amount of money, go do it. Here's what we expect in return, go for it. But um because Jenna did that, because Jenna actually did reach out, like they did then give her the money, which was I thought was really, really cool. And there was never like any like huge expectation. I think they just wanted like the logo on it, and then some other things about Landyachtz on it. But yeah, shout out Landyachtz, bro. Shout out you guys. shout out for that. You guys didn't have to do that. What? AJ Habe appeared? That's actually kind of crazy, bro. That's actually extremely exciting. Yeah, man, that's actually pretty sick. I hope you guys took pictures because I don't know how much I believe all of that. But yeah, man, peer pressure. Peer pressure works, bro. Bullying and harassment works. Okay, that's not a great takeaway. What else did I get by being sponsored by Landyachtz? Maybe if you scroll down. Yeah, there was also a really weird opportunity, really weird like happening, which I'll tell you guys about. So Landyachtz started this thing where like I would get a discount code with my name, Buga Aroni, and if you used my discount code on the Landyachtz website, you'd get 15% off. And then I'd also get a certain percentage in commission. I think it was like 10% or 5%. I have the same deal with a couple of other brands out there, but it was actually super sick because it meant that I was going to be paid directly for my reviews. What used to happen was like I'd have to link to skate shops or Amazon, for example. Like Amazon has an affiliate program, so I link to Amazon, and if someone buys the board from Amazon, I get a commission. Or it's the same thing with other skate shops. If someone buys from the skate shop using my link, I get a commission. And it was really difficult because like not everyone wants to use Amazon. Amazon also doesn't work worldwide, like not doesn't work like in the UK, or if it does work in the UK, I'd have to get specific links for like the Amazon.co.uk website. Or if it works in the EU, I'd have to get specific links for the EU website. So it really hampered how I was able to make a living. But now with people buying directly from Landyachtz, it worked really well, at least in the States and at least in Canada as well, probably worldwide also. It was also really good because my commission on Amazon, I think, was like 4%, but with buying directly from Landyachtz, I think it was 10% or 8% or something like that. But it was really, really good. And then also like Landyachtz made a lot more money because people were buying direct instead of buying from distributors. Now, how it works, Landyachtz, how it usually works, Landyachtz would have to sell the product to a distributor, which let's say they sell at $10. Then from the distributor will charge a certain amount, and then they sell it to skate shops. Then skate shops would charge another certain amount, and then at the end of it would end up being like, let's say, if Landyachtz production cost is like, if they sell it to the distributor at $10, the skate shop would sell it at $20. So Landyachtz would still be making money, but they wouldn't be making as much money as they could. But if someone bought from them directly, they'd end up making all of that $20 directly to them. But Landyachtz absolutely needs the distributors because it's the distributors who have this relationship with the skate shops, right? Landyachtz doesn't necessarily have this relationship with skate shops, and it's actually very difficult for them to sell directly to skate shops, right? It's like the distributor, hey, I'm based in Africa and I know all the skate shops in Africa. I have a relationship with them. I have the distribution methods figured out and I can sell to them directly, right? It's very difficult for Landyachtz to be able to sell to all the skate shops in Africa and then figure out all like the best way to send it to them, like the best routes, the routes that have the least tax, etc. And then also do the same thing for all the skate shops in Japan, all the skate shops in Asia, all the skate shops in Europe, in the US, etc. Working with distributors is the most efficient way, not the most cost effective, but the most efficient way. So they need to have a strong relationship with the distributors. Now, where the story gets really funny is like with my code, I was allowed to use it through my social media, and they're kind of trialing it with us, with other team riders. So I was allowed to use it through my social media and through whatever methods. I asked them, what are the red lines? And the team manager didn't really say anything. So one day I posted my code on Reddit and on the Longboard family group, and that freaked out the skate shops and the distributors. Because if people were getting like hard discounts, and there were a lot of people in those groups, right, getting like crazy discounts, right? That means that the skate shops and distributors weren't going to be making that money. So that freaked them out, and it's the first time I ever got told like, no, don't do that anymore. Don't do that, because the skate shops and the distributors got freaked out, which I thought was really funny. I don't know who exactly, but like, yeah, it was kind of funny. But it is what it is. But I always think it's kind of funny. Like, I'm just one guy, bro. Like, how are you guys so threatened by my discount code? But I guess it wasn't my discount code. I suppose it was just like the aspect that people may have been getting something at a more affordable rate by buying directly. Anyway, we do need skate shops. Um, but with how small everything is getting, like, I think it's gonna be a lot more tricky. So yeah. Anyway, I didn't end up making all that much money from Landyachtz. I think in 2 months I ended up making like $300 or 300 plus. I thought it was gonna be a lot more. I think now I could probably make like a whole lot more money with that. Probably not that much more money, but they discontinued the program, which I think is a shame. But I do think like if you are a team rider or riding for some other team, same. Why do I keep repeating myself? If you're sponsored by someone, if they can give you a discount code, then you also get like a commission on top of that. It could be a nice way for you to make content, put yourself out there, and also sponsor and also push like the company name a little bit, and also be making a little bit money for yourself. Not all um, not all brands do this, but if you have a good social media following, and it doesn't also work that well for everyone, because I know that team riders out there who have posted like their codes once in a while, but I know they barely make fuck all, because it is actually pretty difficult to sort of have people sort of like put that code in the face of the people who are actually going to buy that product. But if you do have a decent social media following, you have a YouTube, you have a Instagram, whatever, or people in person who do want to buy products, you can make for yourself like a little bit of money quite easily. Anyway, that's a fun anecdote. So, what sucked about being sponsored? Obviously, I already talked about it a little bit. Like, Landyachtz is huge, bro. Like, a lot of team riders there, bro. It's really hard to stand out and also grow that relationship. Um, Going from being a flow to like a pro rider, I think it's pretty difficult. There's not too much room for individual growth. Probably very difficult to get a pro model. Like, you're gonna be in like team rider limbo for so long. In fact, it probably makes more sense like be a team rider for a bit, get an opportunity with another company, maintain your relationship with Landyachtz or like company one, and then get really good, and then be like, hey, I really want to come back to Landyachtz, but I want like a pro model or something like that. Because that pathway is just like being employed. Like that pathway from being like an amateur or flow team rider to then being a pro rider with your own pro model is gonna take so many years. It's gonna take so long. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why most companies don't look within them and be like, hey, this guy is skating super well. Like, let's get him a pro model. Let's get him some good stuff. And yeah, sometimes it does feel like, you get left behind, like, um, I'd see team riders go on trips and then I'd be like, hey, what about me? I'd see all this stuff happening and then I'd feel like really left out. And I feel like that was more because of where I was in the world rather than them choosing to leave me out of it. Um, so yeah, there is that. But yeah, man, like Landyachtz, bro, is probably one of the best companies to be sponsored by, because like so many people on this, like they don't be like posting footage, bro. They don't be posting as much content as they should, but they're still sponsored. They still receive like a lot of products. Like, who do we pick on to hate on? To talk shit about? Like, who isn't like posting content as much? Um, I don't know, bro. Like, when's the last time we saw Teresa post a skate video, but she's still sponsored by Landyard? Or when's the last time we see Pedro? I see a lot of Pedro's posts. I don't know this guy because he dances. I don't know. Reese, I think I have no idea. Steven. And the other thing as well is a lot of people actually work for Landyachtz. A lot of these people are actually employed by Landyachtz. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, it is quite weird. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, do let me know. But I did want to talk about it. There's probably a lot more stuff that I am missing out on. I don't really have any prompts to ask me, so let's ask the AI for topics of conversation. What's it like to be sponsored by a longboard company? See what it says. Maybe they give us. Yeah, there was no financial support directly. There are not a lot of paid opportunities um, with what do you call it? With being sponsored. Like I said, that commission thing can work really well if you have your social media well set up. But otherwise, like there's not a lot of financial support. For pro models, now I'm not speaking about Landyachtz specifically, but if you do have a pro model, you do get like a commission. Some companies give you 50%, but that is rare. One company wanted to approach me to make like a pro model with me, and they were telling me about how other people in other companies don't make that much of their pro models. So um, it's not really a good way to sustain yourself. Jacob asks, I don't know if I covered it in the beginning, but how did I first get sponsored? I did cover it. I did talk about it. Landyachtz, for a quick recap for you, Landyachtz did reach out to me first, and they talked about me getting sponsored, and they mainly wanted me to do reviews for them, and then in return give them some content as well. Blah blah blah. And my relationship grew with them. And shout out Dan Norberg, who was the team manager at the time, was such an MVP. I really felt treated very fairly by him. And he was a great guy, easy to talk to, very understanding. And yeah, he made shit happen, which was sick. Anyway, so yeah, getting a pro model doesn't necessarily give you like a lot of financial stuff in return. Like I've heard of people making 10% off the value of a pro model. I'm not talking about Landyard specifically, I'm talking about generally, anywhere from 10 to 50%. 50% is when the company really, really likes you and really, really wants to support you. And I don't know what you need to be. Like you need to be some kind of unicorn, because I don't think Landyachtz was paying anyone like 50% on the pro model. Big companies tend to go more to like 10%, which I think is bullshit. But also, like when you look at how they have to make money, um, it kind of makes sense. So pro models aren't really a great way for you to make a lot of money. I think Landyachtz maybe had a bit more flexibility, so maybe they paid more. But for a lot of people, yeah, bro, like you're not gonna be making a lot of money on your pro model. But yeah, I know some companies out there pay people like 10%, which I think is thievery. Like you'd rather, I don't know, man. I don't know what you'd rather do, bro. Like, but you're not gonna be making like much money, bro, because maybe you get one or two people buying your pro model like every month, like maybe three people, and let's say your pro model costs $300. How much is that gonna be? You're gonna be making like maybe $90 a month, and that's, at least in the EU, that's a drop in the ocean. For me here, that's a lot of money, bro. Like I could be paying for my fuel to go to sessions, and it would make financial sense. But like in the EU, that's not actually going to be that great. Exposure and networking. The really nice thing with smaller companies, like for example, Comet, even though I'm not directly sponsored by Comet, and we do have a good working relationship, and they have asked for my feedback on various products. I do get the exposure and the networking opportunity. I have been put like in the team group chat, and I do talk with them, and I do share my opinion on certain products. And that helps a lot with networking, because then I'm like, oh, hey, you're in the same team as me, and I'm able to start a conversation, or like there's more of that like buddy recognition, if that makes sense. Like we go to an event, and then like, oh, hey, what's up, man? There's a bit more familiarity. I'm not as much of a stranger, and that helps, and that can also help with other opportunities as well. I could be like, oh, hey, dude, you're sponsored by Venom. Can you put a good word in for me? I'm trying to get XYZ, or could you connect me, or could you talk directly to the team manager for me, or your boss for me, and sort of figure it out for me. Yeah, what's up, Mike? Mike, you might be able to. This is what I've talked about so far, Mike. What's it like to be sponsored? How to get sponsored? What sucked about being sponsored? Maybe there's some questions you have that I can talk about. Right now, I'm just asking this AI for some topics to talk about because it's stuff I've missed out on. But yeah, exposure was a pretty sick one. I don't think I got so many followers from being sponsored by Landyachtz, but I did get a couple more, and then I also got more like um, big dick recognition, as I would say. Like you walk into a forum, and then you're talking to people, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm sponsored by Landyachtz," and then they're like, "Oh shit, you're sponsored. Oh, that must mean you're legit or some shit like that." And it doesn't really mean you're legit or anything like that. You know, it doesn't. It's not really a marker of skill that because I'm sponsored, it means I'm skilled, you know. But for a lot of people, in their mind, it legitimizes you. So there is that. I didn't necessarily gain too many followers, but it sort of adds to like your mistake. Yeah, okay, that's a great point. Definitely make important to make sure you get sponsored by a brand that makes you actually want to skate. Um, some of the products genuinely sucked. Okay, we'll come back to that. But yeah, man, like you got your reputation definitely like goes up a bit because you're sponsored, even though you're not necessarily a good rider. And Landyachtz just has this huge brand, and a lot of people recognize them. A lot of people like them. It's a huge institution, I'd say. So you definitely get like, I definitely got like, what do you call it? Um, like they pimped me out. Because I remember it was just different. Like the way people treated me, bro. It was like they switched up, which I thought was really weird and unnecessary. But it is, it is, it did happen. But yeah, like Mike said, also sponsorship is as much as I'm good at making media as it is I am good at skateboarding. So yeah, there's those two different things. Like you could be really good at like highlighting that the product works super well, which is like you're a great free rider, like who for example, but you're not necessarily great at social media. Like a lot of people in the EU who skate super well, but that doesn't make them good at social media, right? But yeah, I am good. I am good at skateboarding. Like you make it on podiums often. You're able to show people that hey, this product performs at the highest level and performs super well. So yeah, company wants to sponsor you. I'm good at making media. Is just that you're able to put that product in front of very many eyeballs. Um, so yeah, let's go. Swag and exclusives. Bro, I got so many Lanyard stickers, I still haven't finished giving them away. I don't like putting stickers on my stuff unless they're of sentimental value, but I have like dozens of Lanyard stickers, bro. Like sticker bags this full, bro. Send me like stacks of stickers and I'd actually like give them away. Then I get tired of giving them away. Then months go by, then I stumble upon them like, oh shit, I still have Lanyard stickers. Then I give them away. Like I tell you, bro, I had like a bunch of stickers in my car for ages, bro. And I had to give it to someone in like the whole bag because like I couldn't like physically give them all away, bro. Like it was yeah, but yeah. Unfortunately, again, like with Landyachtz, I wasn't really ever part of like a group chat. I was never really privy to like what new products are being made or anything like that. So there was not that much of an exposure and networking opportunity, but it did come with um other things. Another thing that you do get with being sponsored is like um I wasn't necessarily required to attend any events, but if you do attend events, your sponsor may pay for your entry fee, which is really nice. So yeah. What else? This is true community and recognition, pressure and commitment. So let's go to Emma's question. Do the sponsored guys live from skating alone or do they have a regular job? All these people have regular jobs. All of them. Some of them work for Landyachtz, others do other things. Um, yeah, but skating does not pay for people's lifestyles at this moment in time. Like you might get enough money to like attend events and go to like one or two things, but there's not enough money in skateboarding at this moment in time for people to live off of it. That's that's generally speaking downhill skating and longboarding, right? But people are able to make a living off through other sponsorship opportunities. Like Cole Trotter right now is apparently thriving and is able to make enough money through all sorts of like opportunities with sponsors outside of longboarding, right? Which is really, really cool. As Mike says, it's also super hard to get money out of sponsorship deals, hard to pay rent with a bunch of skate gear, and it's absolutely true. That's why again I was highlighting the affiliate commissions if you can, and even what else? What else can you do? I don't know, man. It's just very difficult. So you know, it is what it is. Let's see. Uh, yeah. Um, yeah. So is it difficult to get kicked off of a team if you're not like providing all this stuff? I think with Landyachtz, if you get again, it's one of those big brands, bro. It's like those big companies. When you get sponsored, most likely you're staying there for life. You know, it's pretty difficult to get kicked off, even if you're not posting media as much. Um, Once they like you, and you tend to stay on. It is harder to get off. Um, but other companies, like I know, are pretty ruthless. Like Rocket, I know Rocket has like um gotten rid of some people because yeah, they just don't be posting content at all, and people are fed up with them. So no, they do get fed up with those individuals, and they just kick them off the team because they're not providing their end of the deal. Um, but I don't know what Landyard's strategy is. Maybe they just like want specific people in specific scenes. I don't really understand it. But yeah, there is that. Now let's talk about another downside. The products, some of the products genuinely sucked, bro. Like, I would not be writing some of those products if I was not sponsored by Landia. I did absolutely enjoy skating the Landyachtz small blind, but part of me, like 5-10%, was skating it because Landyachtz did sponsor me. I didn't feel like there were downhill boards in their lineup that really fitted the vision of what I was looking for. Um, what else? I think it's only when I got like the um I don't know what board I got that I felt like really, really comfortable. Like El Peligro was pretty good, but I didn't really feel all that comfortable. But I don't know, man. There were some products that genuinely sucked. The dinghy genuinely sucked. It does have its place, but I didn't like riding it all that much. I would never ride it. Like I had it for years and I just kept it aside. Yeah, it genuinely sucked. It didn't fit what I wanted to do, but I did ride it because I needed to review it. What else sucked? What products sucked? Let's go through it. The Smokies, I actually really did enjoy. The Cheetahs were probably the number one product from Landyachtz that I enjoyed the most, and I would still ride to this day. They're really, really fun wheels. I've just unfortunately worn through most of the sets that I have. I only have the lean Cheetah Hogs on hand at the moment, but I've either sold or given away all the other Cheetah Hogs that I had. But I really did enjoy them, and they were some of my favorite wheels, genuinely. I think that will probably change a little bit because I'm like mostly skating Magnums these days, and I really like Magnums. But the Cheetah Hogs I absolutely loved. The Smokies I really, really enjoyed. What I didn't like about them was that they didn't have like the spaceable insert, and after a while I kind of fell out of love with them. I don't know what truck I then went on to skate. Mostly, I think I transitioned to like Ronins from the Smokies, but yeah, I really did enjoy the Smokies. And I did enjoy skating them. Let's go. What's next? What else? Cheese grater I reviewed because I don't know, man. Like the thing is, when it was time for me to get like my 3 boards and 6 wheels and trucks or whatever, I would go on the Landyachtz website, or they give me like I think a spreadsheet, and I'd ask for things specifically, right? So I asked for the Smokies, I asked for the small blind, I asked for the cheese grater, And I don't know what other board that I got at this point that I asked for. I think the drop cat. I asked for those things specifically and they gave them to me. Like I chose it. And I chose the cheese grater because at the time there was nothing else in the lineup that really caught my eye for freeride, and it was a board that I wanted to try. I have since sold it. Um, but yeah, I didn't like it all that much. Like I was able to skate it okay, but it wasn't that comfortable for me. So yeah, some of the products did suck. I will say, free ride wise, only maybe the what do you call it? Um, what's it called? What is it called? What is it called? The board with the kicktail, the free dive, right? Was the only one I really liked, but even that could have some improvements. Downhill wise, I think maybe the Obsidian, but I never got to ride it. Would have probably been like what I liked the most. Um, and yeah, small blind was okay, but I did end up selling it. I still have the El Peligro, and I do skate it from time to time when I'm testing like different things. I did get it almost destroyed, so that's why it's still here. Let's see. But yeah, a lot of the products suck, bro. Especially some of the wheels, bro. Like, um, let's see what I got. The other thing that I really loved about Landyachtz was they were really happy with like sending me stuff and paying the extortionist rate that the Kenyan customs would pay them. Like it was really, really good of them. So shout out to them. Um, I got to like review Easy Hogs, which I really didn't like. They had some of the worst roll speed and they felt like really, really hard. I really didn't like them. I got to review Yates Hogs, Yates, the Adam Yates wheels, which were okay, but not that special. Nothing crazy about these wheels. Like honestly, like they were okay. So mid. They had honestly like Landias honestly had like a lot of mid products, bro. Like you're sponsored by Atlas, you're stronger than me for real, bro. Landias had a lot of mid products. And I had to review and I had to write a lot of them. I honestly, the only thing that I still write from Landiats to this day are the Bear Gen 6 trucks. And I actually signed on to be a team member mainly because they had the 30-degree base plate coming out. And I thought that was going to be revolutionary for like a lot of people getting into downhill. And I really wanted to make content around that and really push that product. But that product only really came out properly, I think, like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. But yeah, I only really liked like the free dive and the Bear Gen 6 trucks. And the free dive also wasn't like perfectly suited to me, but you know, I did enjoy it. The El Peligro, again, not perfectly suited to me, but I also think I was the problem. And I wasn't able to make the most out of it. They didn't really send me too many wheels either. So yeah. Um, let's see. What else did I hate from Landyachtz? Um, uh, I don't know, bro. Drop card was okay. El Peligro was okay. Nothing special. Um, but yeah, man. I think that's it, bro. Easy hogs, mid wheel. Not gonna lie, bro. Um, yeah, man. Anyway, I don't know if I have much else to comment on this. But yeah, man. That's what being sponsored is like. That's what being sponsored by Landyachtz is specifically like. If you have some questions, do let me know. Maybe ChatGPT can give me some prompts and try. Yeah, bro. Thing that used to piss me off was sometimes I'd make like really nice videos and I'd DM them and then they wouldn't like post it on their main channel. Other times I'd make like really mid videos and then they'd post it, they'd just go ahead and post it on their channel, which really annoyed me because I was like, what's the balance here? But then I don't know. Sometimes like you can never truly know like um you know what's what you like may not necessarily be like what other people like. So there's that. Let's see if you can find it. Um, let's see what ChatGPT is saying. Free gear, exposure, community, opportunities. My dream sponsor: content creation, competition, or event presence, brand image. My dream sponsor, I think, it has to be Rocket Longboards. Couple of things stand out to be about Rocket. Okay, Comet are really good. Comet are really, really good, but I have beef with the people who make like boards there. My main beef, it's not really a beef, is like they ask me for stuff and then I give my feedback, but then what okay, two things. Number one, I don't think if I ever rode for Comet, I'd ever get like a pro model or anything like that, right? That's probably never going to happen. I don't think that's ever going to happen for everyone, for anyone, because there are too many products out there. Number two, Comet, they make boards that fit everybody, right? Like the Comet Cruiser fits a lot of people. The Takeover fits a lot of people. Let me see. Comet skateboards. Like a lot of these products fit a lot of people, right? Which is cool, but they never take the risk of making something specifically that may alienate other people, which I really feel like is limiting, right? Like these are all kind of general, like, I don't know, man. Like there's nothing specific, there's nothing like, this is for XYZ and it's okay if XY, if ABC can't skate it, it's kind of like, it's kind of, they always try to like incorporate everyone, which is okay, but at the same time, like you can't always do that. The other beef that I have is like the maker, the owner, not the owner, the guy who's in charge of developing things has his specific vision. And even though you may have like really good advice or you may have specific gripes, his vision always supersedes yours. So the only time he'll change something is if you can convince him that XYZ is bad. If you can't, even though you're like, look, many people are going to like XYZ, you should include this. He's never necessarily going to be able to like step outside of what he wants and include that. He has been kind of changing recently, which I really, really like, and incorporating other people's vision, but really it's his vision. And it's a double-edged sword because Comet by far has some of like the best vision in the game. Like just look at the fucking branding, bro. It's super sick. Look at this stuff, bro. Like this is incredible, bro. And having this vision for yours as an individual, like I don't know, when you have a singular vision, it makes it easier to make certain decisions, but it makes you blind to other things that you can accomplish or to other needs that other people may have. So there's that. So that's why they're not my dream sponsor. Otherwise, they would be, because they have they care about people. They care about people being paid. They care about skateboarding being sustainable for all. Like they have a big vision and they want to include everybody. And a lot of companies don't have that. A lot of companies are okay with exploiting skateboarders for their own benefit. Comet wants you to benefit as much as they're benefiting. And they have said, like, I don't know if I'm like doxing them or anything, but they're the first person who've ever been like, look, if we ever get to a point where we can afford to pay team riders, I would love to have you on the team and we'd love to pay you and support what you're doing because we believe what you're doing is rad. No one else in skating has ever said that. Everyone else has tried to exploit me for XYZ or for their own benefit. No one has ever been like, look, we'll support what you're doing. We'll love what you're doing. Of course, we'll get XY benefit in some other way, but we also want you to really benefit. No one else has ever said that. So there is that, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, my other dream sponsor, my second choice would be Rocket, right? Only because Daniel at Rocket actually listens to shit I be saying, bro. Like he actually listens, bro. Like he watches reviews, he takes note of what I'm saying, he takes note of what other people are saying and changes things accordingly, right? Um, like there's some boards that he recently put out that I feel like were made because of my influence. I also feel like um I don't know what we talked about. Like I don't know what it is that we talked about, but I feel like he listened to me and he reached out and wanted me to review it because he thought it was something that I would like. I don't remember what it is exactly, but I feel like he listened and also feel like if I was sponsored by them, I'd get exactly what I wanted made. No matter the cost, no matter how many models we have to go through, I get exactly what I wanted made. No matter how crazy or weird it is. He's willing to change his way of thinking to accommodate what the rider wants specifically. I don't know if like the pro model riders get paid enough or get paid a lot. But that being said, I feel like I would truly be accommodated, my ideas taken seriously. I feel like honestly, like a lot of the time, some of my ideas aren't taken seriously. So yeah, Rocket would be my dream team. My truck sponsor would probably be Rogue. I don't think I'd be able to like influence Zach at all. But Zach is pretty chill about sending people products. So there's that. And I don't think I'll ever be paid, but like, hey, if I can get a discount or like I can get XYZ trucks for free, like I'm really happy. And if they work really great, I'm probably never gonna ever look at anything again. Also because I really like the product. Also because maybe I'd have gotten that 30-degree precision Rogue base plate if I was fully sponsored by them. Um, Also, would I be wheel sponsor? My favorite wheel sponsor would probably be I don't know, man. I'd want someone who'd be willing to send me um free ride wheels and who would also be making a really good race wheel. So if everything was perfect, you guys are gonna hate me for this. I would say 88 Wilco would have been the best wheel sponsor. If he actually like paid people, send me stuff when like was needed, and wasn't dishonest and scammy, like he'd be like the perfect wheel sponsor. Like he actually does a really good job of like um actually sending people products for sponsorship and stuff like that. I don't know, fucks up with other things, but yeah, I also felt like he did listen to my feedback. Mostly listen. I didn't feel like he always took me seriously, but he did listen to my feedback, and they would actually be the perfect wheel sponsor, because they have like free ride wheels, which actually are good. These wheels were good. These wheels were good. Haven't tried these. Their race wheels are apparently quite good. And if I told him that hey, these wheels are shit, like he'd probably like listen a little bit, even though it'll go out the other year. But yeah, and also a variety of wheels for every type of riding. Um, Venom, kind of feel like Venom would be a great sponsor, but also like they probably don't have too many free ride wheels as well. So yeah, for trucks, yeah, again, Rogue, grip tape, probably Seismic or Scythe. Rocket, I like the dark matter grip, but it does wear down, even though it takes a very long time. But I have noticed that it does wear down. Um, so there's that helmet, of course, S1. But TSG does have a nice full face. I'd love to be sponsored by TSG. And then who else? Or Brick Souls, probably Becker Grip Souls. They're not the most durable, but I like them. I think that's it. Shoes. Okay. Couple questions in the chat. Shoreline Border asks, what company outside the scene would you want to be sponsored by the most? A camera company, an energy drink company, anything. Personally, he'd like Red Bull for himself. Um, I'd like a company that is in line with my core values. So there's this company called uh Reload. And I actually drink a lot of isotonic drinks. This is a can company. I wouldn't like to be sponsored by them the most, but it would be in line with what it is that I'm doing in my life. I'm very active. I take a lot of electrolytes, so this would make a lot of sense for me, and it would be in line with me, with what I do quite a bit. What else? What else can I talk about? Uh, I think I'd like to be sponsored by an airline so I can get free tickets. and I can travel around the world and I can go skating and I can talk about that shit, because a lot of these sponsorships may not pay, but airlines often have like legs where like things are very empty, like seats are very empty, and it's very easy for you to be like, oh, okay, I'll join this flight and then go somewhere and then come back. So it would make a lot of sense. It will make traveling a lot more affordable. Then who else? I'd love to be sponsored by a fast food brand, bro. Even though we're boycotting KFC, if I was sponsored by KFC, bro, that would be fucking crazy, bro. That would be insane, man. That would be insane, bro. If I was getting fried chicken for free, fried wings for free, bro, insane, bro. I have emailed Reload already. Actually, let me see if I can bring up the email, bro. Maybe you guys can give me tips about like where I fucked up. But I have emailed them. Let's see. Yeah, let's see what I said, man. But they didn't get back to me, bro. They did ask for like an email back. Um, so I did write an email to them. I said all sorts of shit. Gave them like all sorts of information and stuff like that, but they never really got back to me. Um, let me just let me just write back. Hi, just checking in. Anyway, we'll come back to this in a bit. Let me finish the questions. What would my 2025 pro model look like? A company did reach out to me, a small company, about making a pro model, and I did list out some things. I did write down some stuff. Let me check my doc file. I just want to remove the company in case it never happens, because they'd be saying like, I don't know, bro. Um, they be doing that shit where they are like, oh, bro, all this, all that. Anyway, so yeah, so this is what my pro model deck would look like, right? I'll even talk about. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I'll talk about like what you're gonna do. We're supposed to do a two-part podcast slash documentary where we talk live. Where we're talking live, we're talking about making the board, what I like. So it'd be me talking, telling them what I like out of the design, them designing, doing everything in CAD, and then making the board, and then coming back the next day, I think, and then like shaping the board and everything, and then sending it out to me, stuff like that. Anyway, so making a pro model is pretty crazy, bro. It's so scary. But the problem with this process that these guys wanted was like they wanted me to make a board, give them the specs, and then make the board and have it be perfect on the first try. That's never gonna work, bro. I think they were quite flexible. So I think if I told them, hey, let's make like two boards, right? Would have been sick, would have been able to experiment. But I don't think financially it's possible. But yeah. Anyway, here is the concave. So concave, I'm going to be influenced quite a bit by the Rocket Rhino. Personally, I think the Rocket Rhino is probably one of the most perfect boards out there. If I could afford it, I would have bought a custom one ages ago. That's probably just about the same dimension wise, but probably have a little skinnier wheelbase options. I'd have bought it a long time ago. Done a talk block on it and then forgotten about this whole thing. But in the place where like I'm making my own board, concave wise, I'd like 10 millimeters where the toe goes. This is quite comfortable for me. It's what I have on the Rocket Rhino at this moment in time. Feels great. I do believe it's 10 millimeters, could be more, could be less. I don't like too steep of a wheel flare because it feels like I lose leverage on two sides. I like to really dig in, and I find that having too much of a wheel flare or too much concave on the toes sort of like, let's say this is my toe. When I'm doing a toe side, sort of pushes me away instead of allowing me to push into the board. So having less concave allows me to really dig into it. I'd like 5 millimeters where the heels go. Now, I think less would probably feel really nice. or less than the 10 millimeters, I would straight up just copy the Rocket Rhino concave, but then I also wanted to be a little original, and I also didn't want to do that to Rocket because they came up with that, and I think it would be shitty to just straight up copy, even though like it would probably feel really great. But I'd have little concave under the heel, so I'm able to dig into the board during hillsides, and then it's also really comfortable just standing on the board. I find that a board that has a lot of concave on the hillside edge to be really uncomfortable to stand on, really uncomfortable to cruise, really uncomfortable to push on, and it doesn't really lock me in all that much as well. I feel less locked in, and I feel like I'll slip forward when I'm doing like hillside maneuvers. Having less concave gives me that locked in feeling. I'd either like a light drop in the back or something totally flat. I think the Rocket Rhino has a bit of rocker, and I think that rocker makes it harder to stay locked into the board in a weird way. I don't know if it's because like when the board slopes down like this and my foot is here, like it's harder to push that way because I'm not necessarily pushing on the part that's like this or the part that's like in the middle. I think I'm pushing on the part that's like this. So having a board that's flatter would make more sense. And I do feel, and I have felt more locked in that way. So yeah, I think it might feel better with tucking. But yeah, generally I'd want something that would maximize rear foot contact so that I wouldn't necessarily need a torque block, but I would still be quite locked in. I am going to put a torque block on this board though, but yeah, something flat. Maybe light W or not at all, depending on how skinny I go with the board. And yeah, concave wise as well, no flatness in the middle. There are some boards out there that like are really flat in the middle, and then the concave comes up like this. I find those boards to be quite awkward. The Diego Pro is a good example of a board that's like this. I like something that the concave starts from the middle and really is super mellow and cradles your feet throughout. I find that to be the most comfortable. But yeah, width, I'd go 8.3 inches where the toes go. I was thinking about going narrower, 8.5 inches where my feet would go, but that's pretty scary because I've only ever skated a board that's I think 8.3 inches, and I find that to be a little too narrow on the hillside edge. 8.5 might be nice, but I'm terrified of going too skinny. So 8.7 is what I'd settle. But if I had the option of chopping a board and experimenting with it, or having multiple pro models, multiple draft versions that I could like mess with, then I definitely go 8.7. The height doesn't matter for me, but I still want something compact. Wheelbase options, I was gonna go 18.5 to 21 inches, just to have freedom for like experimenting with different trucks. I don't think I'd run anything over 20.5 inches because that's what I run on the Rhino now, and it's really comfortable. But I think 21 inches is a good place to start with, and then also with like moving around the truck relative to how wide the board is, it also gives me a bit of flexibility with that. I like the footstop holes that we're getting on like the Kai Signy board and on some of the Rocket boards as well. I like a flush mount, but not too much flush that it can affect the rigidity. I noticed on the on my custom Rocket Dawn, because I asked them to go quite deep with the flush mounting. Not even that deep actually, but I think because of like the because of how the board was, what's the word? I think there was a lot of like flex, a little bit of flex, not a lot, but a little bit, because the wheel wells are quite deep, and then also like I don't think the board is thick enough. I don't think they used as much maple, and because I put flush mounting there as well, there's a tiny bit of like torsional flex, tiny bit. You can't notice it, but standing and like really putting a lot of weight, there is a little bit. Does it affect my riding experience? I don't think so, but maybe kind of. But yeah, flush mounting that doesn't affect rigidity. If they could like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what they could do to prevent this, but construction, whatever is speed stiff and has good road vibration absorption and is durable, right? Going off the Rocket Rhino as well. I think it's 8-ply with 2 layers of carbon. Super durable, super solid. Most of my Landyachtz boards were like that. The carbon series, like the, what's it called? Small Blind and the El Peligro, both extremely durable boards. I did have the Pantheon Tortuga from the Summit series, which had like the urethane mounting options, the urethane rails, and then also was sandwiched between, like, I think, fiberglass, vertically laminated fiberglass or something like that. And I didn't really abuse that board. It held up okay, but it didn't necessarily have the density and the weight that I like in my downhill board. Like, I don't want it to be too heavy, but I also don't want it to be too light. And it didn't absorb a lot of road vibration really well. I don't remember, but like, um I didn't like it that much, you know. Yeah, so maybe carbon two ply with a bunch of maple. But this company was super flexible and there's a lot of cool stuff they could do, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, I definitely want something heavy, something solid that can absorb a lot of road vibration. But it's not like too heavy, but it's just heavy enough and that's gonna be durable, you know. Also affordable to whoever's buying it. Shape doesn't matter as long as Mike says he has the bay. Mike says he has the wood slash glass Tortuga and it's way better. He owned a Summit series set and he did love the construction. Same. But yeah, shape doesn't matter to me. Tasteful taper. I suck at design. I'm not gonna lie. I suck at it, so they probably have to make it nice for me. Um, and then Wilf says, of course, deep without affecting rigidity. That's what my pro model board would look like. Probably some you look similar to the Rhino, but the concave would be different in different sections. Um, but yeah, was another question. What is my sponsor me approach? So at this point in my career, right, I feel like a lot of people know who Downhill 254 is. If I wanted to be sponsored, um, there are the way I'd do it, I'd be like, hey, do you guys have any sponsorship opportunities? I would reach out directly to the team manager and talk to them and see what opportunities were there and see if there was a yes or a no. The market is pretty difficult and it's probably going to be really difficult to get someone to sponsor me and send me products for free and have me on the team and really commit to sending products to Kenya and taking care of the costs. It's going to be pretty tricky, so I don't think I'd get that far. There are a lot of companies who send me one-off products and pay for shipping and do that. Not a lot, but some. So I'd probably still be able to get like products review, etc., etc. But again, very difficult to get sponsored. There are companies out there who I believe are sweet on Downhill 254, who like the content that I make, who like me as a person, and would be up to like sponsor me and stuff like that. There are companies out there who don't like me as a person. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm saying, but they're not as sweet on me. They don't really care about my existence. So I definitely be going to the companies that are more sweet on me. But yeah, it would be very difficult to get sponsored right now. Had a thing that I wanted to say. Yeah, I don't know what else, bro. But yeah, I think that might be all, guys. See my pro model board, pro model wheels. I just tried to make the Venom Magnum. Pro model freeride wheels. I tried to remake the banana wheel copials. Pro model bearings. I tried to remake Zillus bearings, but I'd make them with slightly thicker lubricant and like a slightly extended race. Let me show you where. Zillus trucks. Let's see. No, Zillus bearings. What am I saying? Zillus bearings. Like you see this section, right? I try to make it extended so that it would stop the axle nut from denting the bearing shield. So yeah, and then also the hanger from denting the bearing shield as well. So that's all I do, and also a thicker lubricant so it's more durable, and stronger shields if it's possible to make stronger shields. For trucks, I, you know those trucks Nick Broms had, I would remake those, bro. Like the Ronin trucks with the spherical, yeah, extended outer race. There you go. The Ronin trucks with the spherical pivot. Um, you know what, Mike? Let me tell you what also pisses me off about 88 Bilko, right? So I don't know if this is true, but he was hyping me up about the Pantheon bearings that he made for Pantheon. Um, and these Pantheon bearings do have that extended outer race, right? So they're actually really, really sick. And then what he told me he was doing, he was going to be using, I think, I don't know if it's nano ceramic grease, but apparently found like some marine grease that held up really well in the rain, and that he was going to be using them. So by far, these are some of the best bearings that I've ever used. I haven't used them for downhill. I've mainly been using them on like my what do you call it? The pushing board, the Pantheon, the drop down board, right? Mainly been using them there, but they've been so great, so smooth, great rolling, and really durable as well. So that really pissed me off. There was a lot of potential there, but it all sort of fell flat, and never really got anywhere. So there's that. Um, so yeah, pro model trucks. Yeah, you know those, the Ronin trucks, bro. Yeah, the Pranayama, bro. The Ronin trucks with the spherical pivot. I thought those are really smart, but I'd make the Ronin trucks with the inline hanger, and then I don't remember how much width is added to the outer race, but like enough that it makes a decent difference, bro. Um, but yeah, bro, like Ronins, because I think Ronins are probably some of the best trucks out there. Like, let me tell you why. Um, Diego. Let's go to who is Stefano. Let me tell you exactly why that some of Stefan. Who is this Stefan, bro? Stefano Barbizzi, right? So if you guys observe how Diego skates, right? So Ronins are not the most stable trucks, but what they allow is for you to have a really smooth transition between gripping and slipping, right? The line between um, the line between gripping and slipping is still quite defined, but because there's no slop in the system at all, and because um, the trucks, what about the trucks? Um, the trucks have no slop, and because the trucks also ride really low, and because they also have a very thin bushing seat, a couple things happen. I'm trying to find a clip that like highlights this really, really well, right? Um, None of these clips. Yeah, Diego is crazy, bro. Maybe this one or this one. Let's see if it's this one. Right? So at the limit of grip, the release into the slide is extremely smooth. Extremely smooth. Buttery almost. This allows you to do two things. Number one, it really allows you to skate on that grip and slip line a lot closer than a lot of other trucks. So you're able to maximize the grip you're able to get out of the wheels more effectively than other trucks. You can sort of float on that line so well, like better than any other truck that I've tried. And the other thing that this does as well, because of that smooth release, you're able to have a really smooth hookup, which allows you to carry the maximum amount of speed into the corner, right? So when you have an aggressive hookups, it means two things. Number one, that your board is not in the optimal direction to carry speed to the corner, right? It could mean that like what's the word? That you so if you let me see if I can find an example. Sorry guys, my eye. See Harry. Let's see what Harry does, bro. Let's see. Let's roast Harry a little bit, man. Damn, 379, bro. Motherfuckers are eating good, bro. The views. Um. So look, Harry's a great skater. I think he carried like a lot of speed through here, but he didn't have a smooth hookup. Like, look, you see how he hooked up? Okay, that was a smooth hookup, but it's not optimal. Mm. Anyway, a smooth hookup allows you to carry the maximum speed into the corner and take the best line to the corner. Um, the reason this is so is because two things. Number one, you don't waste energy changing direction, right? If you're getting a smooth hookup, what I also mean is a smooth hookup paired with like reaching the apex in the smoothest way possible and having your board turned in the right direction. You waste less time changing the direction of your board so that you're able to take the corner effectively. That's what having a smooth hookup does. You also waste less energy transitioning from sliding to gripping, right? If it's able to be one motion, you're able to carry a lot more speed through the corner and you're able to waste a lot less time. Ronins allow you to do this so easily, way easier than any other truck. You need to slide in a different way, but like you have to work a lot less to make this happen. And yeah, that's the main reason. So that smoothness into and out of slides, you're able to float in that zone and you're able to carry more speed through corners, right? But the thing that I didn't like about Ronins, which is why I sold mine, is that they're not turning at all, bro. It's no joy to skate them unless I was going really fast because I had 45-20. I didn't have the 45-25 that a lot of people have or that Diego has in these videos. So yeah, the turning really sucked. Also, like the front truck didn't turn all that much, and I really missed having a nimble front truck. And I feel like I lost a bit of like speed and cornering time because the front truck wasn't nimble enough. So what I would do is I would make a pro model Ronin truck that had a 50-degree front truck that had more rake in the front. I'd experiment with going as high as whatever the ZM1s have, and then in the back an inline rear so that the front truck is followed better by the rear truck, and then sphericals as well to increase the edge-to-edge transitions from going from one side to the other side. Then the other thing I do that might be controversial for a lot of people is I'd go where's Ronin, bro? I'd go standard bushings, bro. I'd go standard barrel bushings. And to this day, I don't think we ever truly need tall barrel bushings unless you design the truck specifically around having tall barrel bushings. I don't think a truck needs to have it. I think Ronins had so much lean, and some of that lean took away from. I spent setting up the trucks. I spent a lot of time combating that lean, but if you just went standard barrel trucks, you could have flat washers and what do you call it? Flat washers, and you still have like a lot of lean, decent amount of lean, but you're mostly focusing on turning. And yeah, I guess that would take away some of the joy of riding Ronins for a lot of people, but you know, I don't think it will make Ronins any less Ronin because for me personally, what I think of Ronin is like the really thin bushing seat, allowing for that really quick edge to edge transitions, and not much of like what do you call it? Not much of a center point as well, unless you set them up with like cup washers and really hard bushings. But for me, that's what the Ronins are. That really smooth edge to edge transition with that really smooth floatiness between grip and slip. But it's still quite defined, but it's very floaty. Yeah, so high rake, Rojas for racing. I think Rojas need to turn a lot more, which is why we don't actually see a lot of people using them for racing. And I mean, we do see Chase Hiller like absolutely dominating the scene with them, but like I think he's an exception to the rule. I think they don't necessarily have that quick dive off the center that like trucks like ZM1s have. That's why you see a lot of people dominating. That's why you see ZM1s dominating the race scene so much, because they're so stable, actually quite turny. They do have what do you call it? A really strong center and some of that smoothness in the hookup, which is why like Stefano is able to skate them super well. Let's see. Stefano is able to have that smoothness in his hookup as well and able to carry like so much speed. But it is what it is. Nice, man. Emma, I hope you do enjoy your trucks, and I hope my recommendations are pretty great. But yeah, that's what I would get in a pro model truck. Mike, Gullwing makes nuts that have a speed ring cast in with the axle nut. A lot of trucks do, but I feel like just having the bearings dialed in would make it so much easier without having to like worry about that shit. But yeah, I think that's all, guys. I don't think I have that much more to talk about. And yeah, man, that's it. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, I'll give you guys 5 minutes and then we'll go from there, bro. But yeah, man, thank you. 5 more minutes and then we go from there, bro. But yeah, skating for Landyachtz was great. Shout out Dan Norberg. I don't know who else was responsible for me getting whatever the Landyachtz, but shout out to everybody. But yeah, man. Anyway, here's my pitch that did not work for a brand outside of downhill skating. I'm not sure why it didn't work, but here it is. So I'm a Bugaroni. I run downhill 254. Listen, by the way, I've never done a sponsor pitch in my life to a brand outside of skating. Mostly they've reached out to me. So you know, it is tricky. So here's what I said. I also did some research on what a good sponsor pitch looks like, and I don't think I did that well. Anyway, intro. I'm a Bugaroni. I run Downhill 254, a brand that caters to downhill skateboarders globally, but that also has a strong presence locally with about 30,000 followers on Instagram, 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and a decent following on other social media platforms. What I should have done instead is DM'd, let's see, reload, bring Kenya, LinkedIn. Emma says, I'd love to see some new skating vids from me and to see some more of Kenya. Is this possible? Yo. Let me just isotonic drink Kenya LinkedIn. So yeah, instead what I should do, I should reach out to this lady. I think what happened, bro? Did she leave the company? Let's see. Yeah, I would reach out to this lady. I don't know, bro. Like how? I don't know, man. Like I'd reach out to people personally, right, through my LinkedIn. This is guesswork because I don't know if it'd work at all. But I reach out through my LinkedIn instead of sending an email. That probably may work better. But yeah, Emma asks, I would love to see some new skating vids from you and to see more of Kenya. One of my favorite videos that I have ever done in my entire life, damn bro, is the Eldorado video. And I'd love to be able to do more videos like this. To be able to film, travel, create that kind of content, explore new areas, talk a little bit more about them. But number one, it's expensive. Number two, the scene, my scene isn't just there yet. Like, in order for this video to happen, Julian had to come visit me. And then also we had like a second guy driving, and we paid him. Okay, we didn't pay him for the trip. Like, we paid him for the days that we were just like around Nairobi. But because of where we went, when we went to El Dorado, we were paying for like his accommodation, for his food, for everything. We did need a second guy there to help with filming. And he did a lot of the driving and the follow filming as well. But yeah, it's quite difficult because the Kenyan scene isn't there just yet. Number three, it takes a lot of work. A lot of like the standby shots filmed in this thing were filmed by Julian. So a lot of this content is off his iPhone as well. Which is really nice that he did a lot of this stuff, because usually I'm the one driving, right? I'm focused on driving, getting there, finding the roads. I'm concerned with that. And then I'm also concerned with like making sure we're doing runs and actually skating. So it's difficult to find a balance of both. Number three, number four, it's really expensive, man. Like, making this stuff happen is pretty expensive as of now. Like, this is my main job. I don't make enough to be able to do this and then also do other stuff. So yeah, but I really like to do it. Some of my favorite content to make, just exploring new places, actually skating sick roads, improving my abilities as a rider, going new places with my friends and capturing it. Like, the community around me, like, people aren't doing that well financially. There's one other guy. He was kind of able to afford a trip out with me when we went out again back to El Dorado. So this is me and him. This is some of the content we filmed. This trip kind of happened kind of crazily. Like, I have a friend who visits out of town, who stays out of town, and they have like a place where this place is, and they happened to be in town. And then we were like meeting at their house. Then I was like asking them, "Oh, hey, what if we went out there? And what if we did blah blah blah?" Then they're like, "Okay, cool." And then we literally had to go out the next day. Like, woke up at 6 a.m., picked up this guy, and then drove 6 hours to where this place is. And then we stayed at their house, and then they're the ones that drove us around. And we did this for like 2 days. And that was really, really cool of them. Yeah, it just kind of happened. But like, you can see here, because they weren't like, I didn't get any content of myself. Like, I got some selfie clips, but I didn't get any content filmed of myself because there was no one there who knew how to drive the follow car. But that's just how things are. And honestly, I'm okay with it. And I know there'll be a time in life where I'll be able to like make the content I really want to make, which is like kind of slow shots like this and really taking my time in videoing everything. But it is what it is. Jeremy says, living in the American West like Colorado, Utah, California, or New Mexico is really awesome because there's so many runs within the Rocky Mountains and the coast. You're very lucky. And I wish I lived out there. There are a lot of great runs in Kenya. The problem is money and the community being too small to support going to these events. Like, it's so bad that like I'm the only one with a car in the scene. We have to take my car, and then people can't. We split fuel. So, for example, for a typical session out to a spot called Fort Hall, which has 3 very sick roads. Let me see if I can pull them up. Right? 3 very sick roads. It costs about 3,500 shillings. We pay for the driver. So let's make that 4,000. Yeah, we pay for a driver. So we actually split it between 4 people. So everybody pays 950 each. Pay the driver a very small amount. He's a homie, or was a homie. So we only pay him 500 shillings, which is nothing, but like, he's doing us a solid. And also I want him to have some value for his time. That's what we can afford. If I could pay him like way more, I would. So, and then everyone has to pay about like 950 shillings each, which is not a lot of money. it's like $7 each for fuel for whole days of skating. And people make such little money here that like that is a significant amount for them. Other people with like proper jobs are able to pay that no problem. I'm able to pay that no problem most of the time. But for a lot of other people in the scene, it's a big commitment. So we're not able to go out as often as we can. Because people are pretty broke. So yeah. Emma says, I know about filming since I have a filming company myself, and yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah. People don't appreciate like the stuff you have to do, man. Like just to make something quality, bro. Like just to make sure like comes out so super nice. And worth watching. Like it actually takes quite a bit of effort, you know. Um and you know it's easy to make a lot of mid content, but it's hard to make something really quality. I was really proud of that short that I made. Let me see if I can pull it up again. I don't know where it went. And it wasn't the highest quality thing, but it was pretty nice. And I love to make more of that. But you know, or even this shit, man. Sup, Ollie? Sunday racing. Like this didn't take a lot of effort, but it's not even the most quality vid um that I can make. It's pretty mid in its own way. Like a lot of the shots aren't as stabilized as shit. I'm not even sorry guys. Like all of the shots aren't stabilized. Some of them could be like better. Um like this shot, for example, isn't like very stable and stuff like that. Like stuff like this, just like even taking time out to not set up. Like you see when people are setting up to skate here, I have to stand there with like a fucking camera and film them, bro. I don't have time to get ready for myself to skate. And it's okay if it's like a one-off thing, but it's small things like that constantly throughout the day, and it really weighs on your mind and weighs on your soul as well. Like I don't get to take runs. I have to go sit up on a fucking ridge to go take a video, or I have to like set up the camera and then stare out the window and film. It's like small things like that. Instead of just enjoying and being in the present moment, I have to be conscious and have to work towards making sure that I'm getting like a good shot. And sometimes the first shot you get is sometimes so shit, then you have to readjust and do it again. Like it's a lot of work. And this is, I guess, the product of me just trying to take it chill and have a nice time. And then the other bummer is like, okay, hey, I can take good content, but then like now when it's time for people to take shots of me, take nice shots of me, they don't necessarily know how to like make the camera work, or maybe their hands are shaking, but for some reason they don't necessarily get optimized shots like this, for example. Like why the fuck did you zoom in there for whatever reason, you know? Kind of ruins the shot, kind of ruins a lot of things for me, you know? So yeah. So yeah, man, it's a lot of work. Anyway, what someone said, I think your perception of Landyachtz is something something. Then they deleted the comment. I wonder what. I wonder what that was, man. Be brave, bro. Post whatever you're gonna post, man. Um. Okay. Bayer Mike says, Patreon fundraiser goals for skate trips would be rad. I bet the broader community would help if you could make a good vid. Yes, but I kind of wanted to move away from um relying on other people to support me and the things that I want to do. Um, like I wish everything was just sustainable through like the channel itself. That's all I want, bro. I do have a 360 cam. That's all I want. Like it's just not, you know. And just asking people for XYZ all the time is never always going to be sustainable. I think it's okay for one-off things, but you know, I don't wanna always have to like beg for stuff. So there's that. And then the other thing is sometimes you just accept that some things are impossible and you move on with life. Or does Oli say, can you take back your comb? I don't know what you mean. But yeah, someone commented, it was like, I think your perception of Landyachtz is blah blah. Oh, my neck, bro. I don't know what they said, bro, but anyway, my throat is dry as hell. Let me get to the sip of water real quick. Said something. My perception of Landyachtz is what? If anyone caught that, I think I should start recording the chat, bro, because can't delete stuff, bro. Stand behind what you say, bro. It's not like I'm gonna be offended or scared or like anything. Emma says, I've been in Ethiopia for 10 days with 2 cameras to film a short documentary, and it took so long to finish the project. Man, the footage alone was days. Dude. Yeah, man, like some of these things take forever to edit. Forget about the footage. Then going to like the editing process. The perspectives. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, I've seen Crunchy. Crunchy inspired me to race as well, to skate as well. But over time, I kind of fallen out of love with these videos for some reason. But a lot of these videos are good, and I absolutely love them starting out. Yeah. So man, this video was crazy. The amount of editing I had to do for this was crazy. I think it took me 2 days, but I tend to, once I have like an idea, it's very easy for me to like what's the word? Once I have an idea, it's very easy for me to sort of make it happen. Like if I'm filming something, sometimes I tend to like sit and think about like how it's all gonna come together in the end. And then it becomes quite easy for me to sort of like um, put the storyline and do everything together once I have that sort of idea and build it from there. But it genuinely is so difficult, and it's just literally sitting in front of your computer for like 8 to 10, 12 hours. And then the type of guy, like sometimes I don't take breaks because I want to finish something immediately. But like this was at least I'd say like a week's worth of a job. Or a couple days worth, and I did it in a few days. Like there was the voiceover, and then like collecting, actually, yeah, probably like a week's worth, because like if I was working like a normal person, 8 to 5, everything from like just putting the footage into the computer and then like editing it, because there's a lot of stuff, right? So there's like the interviews that we did. So we did this the night before. It took a couple hours. So we're all just reading stuff. Um, Editing this was pretty easy. This part section as well. And then like getting like the B footage. This was actually pretty chill because I gave the camera to the guy who normally films for us. So it's not that bad. But yeah, the other nice thing as well was it was actually the footage that we did get, there was a lot of natural banter because this was the first video we filmed. People felt very natural and very normal. After filming this shit, these guys, every time I pointed the camera at them, would like freeze up, bro. I fucking hated that shit. Anyway, so it was very natural. Things felt like pretty good. And then it was, I don't know, bro, like collecting all the footage as well, editing it so that there's a coherent story. This part was kind of easy, but then now creating the storyline as well, knowing when to add like people talking about stuff they're passionate about, what they like about skating. Pretty, I don't know, man, pretty hard. But yeah, editing is the worst part of like filmmaking. But once you have like your processes down, it's pretty I wouldn't say easy to do, but what's the word? Um, you can figure it out, but it's all just so like time consuming, bro. But yeah, also getting the music. I don't know how much like of an effect it has for you guys watching at home, but making sure the music is great is something I always worked really hard at. And the music here, I have to say, like, was really, really good in my opinion, bro. Like some of the best stuff that I done. Actually, like three different songs in this section. Um, if we watch it. So yeah. 360 cam. I have a 360 cam. It's not good enough for some specific shots. It's great, like for like action shots. If I want to film my friends, if I'm the one filming from my helmet, I want to film my friends. But then now it doesn't have that quality that like a DSLR has when you're standing and like filming something, or um you know yeah. Anyway, there's a guy I know it was Gort, bro, man, Gort, bro. Oh yeah, I could do this, man. Could have this somewhere here, bro. Like here. Anyway. Yeah, so S rank technique says you can do a lot of filming on your own. I know you have one, being a one-man crew. I'm trying to figure it out myself, but the 360 makes it possible with the right tripods and attachment. 360 really, I'd say I'd buy it over a GoPro any day. Like it's so great to use, so easy to get shots. But for like taking your content to the next level, like you can't beat a DSLR, bro. Like the quality, the lenses you can use, color grading, etc. Like it just takes it to the next level. So yeah, man, I think that's it. Guys, your 5 minutes has been up for a long time. Yeah, you don't have someone zooming, but like for example, if I was to put in my 360 cam, there's only so much you could do. Let me show you some of the shots that I got recently. Yeah. Like for example, this is a video that I filmed of myself in El Dorado. Um it's okay, right? But it would be better if it was a full cam. But also, like even if you set up a tripod, you're not able to get like a certain quality with the shots. Like it doesn't always come out perfect. Like for I know there's some shots. Let me just see if I can pull this up here. Um is it here? Nope. I don't know. Like there's some stuff that's not necessarily that great. Let me see if I can dude, this is the bad thing about oh here we go. No, not that one. Here we go. There's some stuff that was filmed of me. Yeah, for example, this is my friend filming me. Oh, blocking it. Genius. I'm a genius. For example, this is my friend filming me. And like that it just doesn't have the same it just doesn't look as great as like like a portrait shot would be if someone stood there with their phone and filmed it. Like it just doesn't look as nice. Kinda has like a weird like floaty effect, it's not the best. So yeah, man. If you guys don't have any other questions, let me know, bro. Let me know, man. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, bro, if it ever taking like whole cam footage, you can't beat a 360 cam, bro. Like that shit just looks good, bro. Unbeatable. Um, yeah, bro. Let me see. Yeah, that guy deletes that comment, bro. Like how much of a coward can you be, bro? How dare you delete your comment, bro? That shit pissing me off, bro. Pissing me off more than knowing what you commented, bro. You've got it in my head, man. Congrats, bro. Fucking grats, bro. Um, let me see. Let me see. La, 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 la. Yeah, man. Like I filmed this shit for like a Red Bull thing, and like it's not the best, but like, bro, I don't think an Insta 360 could capture this and make it look as good as it did, bro. You just have more options. Okay, a lot of this isn't 360, isn't like the DSLR, but like it just has like a nice buttery creamy look, like a sharpness, and the color grading as well, you know. So yeah, man. Also, yeah, sure, Ian. Your slide progression. Where would I check your slide progression? This is the last thing I might do. Then I'm gonna have dinner. Then I'm gonna play Jedi Survivor, which I've been playing for a while. But it's one of my favorite games. Um, yeah. Let me see. Ian Thomas Sr. This is assuming you have a son, Ian, if you're a senior, bro. Or you posted on Reddit. Let's see if I can find out who you are, bro. Um, got someone in my DMs telling me um, let me see if I can find you. Thomas. Ian Thomas Sr. So you have a kid, bro, for real. So old head fly god is you. Hey, that's actually pretty good, man. That is actually solid, bro. The fact that you can kick Thomas R. Oh, you hope you don't have a kid, bro. You don't want to populate the world. Look, the fact that you can kick the board out into a slide, that is huge. For a lot of people, that is they have a really difficult time doing that, right? I don't know if this is you. Can you confirm that it's you or not? So, um, one more after this is not you. So who are you, bro? So this is not okay. What's your ad, bro? Tell me your ad. Your. Okay, this is you. Okay, we're gonna assume this is you. Let's see this. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's read some of the comments. Let's see. I'll tell you what I'm saying first, but let's check Reddit to see how useful the comments are. Alex MC69 says, "You're lifting the edge of the board when you grab rail. I had the same problem. I suggest weaning yourself off grabbing rail for more control and style." So, based off this, is your flexibility good? Tell me in the comments if your squat flexibility is good at all. Are you able to do an Asian squat like this comfortably? Like you just shoulder width squat, kind of get low. Are you comfy? Yeah. Let me know about that. Okay. Mitch Me Think says definitely needs more speed, and to avoid lifting the board, you can still grab rail, but just drop your back knee down some more. Gotta get that hip mobility. Also, tell me how much you weigh in the comments. My suggestion to get more comfortable with the Coleman is to learn them as shutdowns first. Find the biggest hill. Find the biggest hill you got and bomb it and throw your slide, but don't fully rotate to where your switch. Also, don't keep your board perpendicular to the road or you flat spot your wheels. The longer the slide, the more time you have to swing from one side to the other. Eventually, you'll be more comfortable with that, where the final step will just be the suck back and stand up. Also, tell me what bushings you have on your board, and are those Powell snakes? Tell me what wheels also. Secret hack, yeah, bro. That's the wrong thing. We've been doing the wrong thing, bro. We should have all been born Asian, man. That's why we went wrong. Lizard Streak says something the other comments aren't mentioning is your front foot lift. That deprives you of a ton of control. That happens because your back leg is too vertical. Try to put your back leg on its side more and put your chest further into the knee of your front leg. Going faster helps too, so that you're not cranking your slides like you currently are. It's kind of right, but it's not kind of right. He's kind of saying something else. More speed, like the other commentators mentioned. Also, something that is needed to figure out, that I needed to figure out with my commands, was to not lean back as much. Once the slide is initiated, my weight was almost at center of the board, and this allowed for a consistent slide. More speed, no stink bug. Interesting to watch. Advise you installing a rail on your board also. This is horrible advice. Speed is key, that is true. Yeah, so tell me what your setup is. Also tell me wedged and de-wedged, 5 degrees. Also tell me what type of shoe you have. And if you have like the stock Nike, okay, those are Nikes. If you have the stock Nike insole, so let me show you. So, okay, so we'll talk about okay, let's talk about your wheel lift first, right? Yeah, Nike Blazer insole, Nike. Let's see. I'm trying to get like a side profile. So let me see. I can check this. So I don't know if the insole is totally flat. But if it's not, try to get a totally flat insole. So, and I believe this is the free dive. Is this the free dive? Could be wrong. Could be a different board, but yeah, it does look like the free dive. So the reason your front foot is lifting is number one, you may have like an insole that has like a fat let me just grab one, then you see. So when your insole is really thick towards the rear, like this, it can prevent you from putting like your foot on the board and keeping it from lifting up. Sometimes it does make you want to lift it up. So if you can change your insole to a properly flat one, purely flat one, that issue may go away. The other issue is that you're simply not putting enough weight on your front foot. So some of the comments did highlight that, so you can try that. But yeah, it could be a flexibility / insole problem. Nike Blazers are 0 drop, so I don't think that that's an issue. But yeah, if or it might be, but yeah, it could be your shoes as well that are preventing you from like putting your heel down and your front foot down quite a bit. The other thing people have pointed out is you need to stop grabbing rail. This could like reduce the issue of your front toes coming up. You're grabbing rail because you're trying to put yourself on board. so you're not able to sit effectively on the board. So it could, yeah, it could cause that as well. So try it without grabbing rail. It'll allow you to learn how to apply your weight properly on your board. But yeah, the other thing is I think you just need way more speed and a much steeper hill. In order for you to do a Coleman properly, you need to be going way faster than that, right? Because the Coleman kills so much speed that the return swing needs you to have way more speed to bring it back. Let me see if I can pull up my old tutorials. Let me see. Common style. Let me see. Like you see here, I don't have enough speed to come back around because I'm not going fast enough, right? But here, steeper hill, going a little bit faster, have enough speed to bring it back around. So you need to be going way faster. You already have slidey wheels that are slidey enough, so you need like a steeper hill and more speed. Both help quite a bit. And also you already know how to stop, so knowing how to stop isn't going to be a concern for you. Yeah, so speed, that's been covered. What else? We've talked about your shoes, your heels coming off, and then what washers do you have on your board? And then for your weight, I'd say if these are bare 40-degree trucks, like you could probably go way harder with the bushings. Like in the back truck, you could with your weight, you could probably go 97A, 97A and cupped washers. And that's probably gonna be a little bit better for you. Because all this lean, seeing how look how leany this is. This isn't good. This isn't that good, bro. So yeah, go way harder with the bushings. And then as well, it looks like your with the D wedge that you have, you said you have a 5-degree D wedge, so you have a 10-degree D wedge, so you're probably running 45 in the front, 35 in the back. You need to go softer in the front. So if you do go 97A in the back, double 97A in the back, 93A could be okay, but you could also try 90A. You could also take off the angled risers and just run it 95, 93A, and that might give you decent performance. But that could be a nice solution to try while you wait for the 97A bushings. If you do get it, I do think you should experiment. But generally, I do think you need to go a bit harder with the bushings in the back, especially, and that'll give you a bit more stability. But I think you got it down, bro. You think you just need to go a little bit faster. But yeah, it seems to me like your back truck is turning a bit more than your front truck here. Like you see how much more it's leaning. It just means to me like the back truck is running a bit too soft than the front. And yeah, so yeah, try that. Otherwise, I think like you're progressing pretty well, bro. But also I think you're cheating, bro. 33 years old, getting back into skating after 10-year hiatus, bro. You already knew this shit, man. So anyway, I think you're doing really well, bro. So yeah, let's see if there's any other progress. Yeah, the other thing, watch out for the dead zone with the bare trucks. Like yeah, Venom doesn't make 97A plugs. So what you could do, you could buy parts risers. You're right, they don't. Parts risers. Buy inserts from here. So let's see, Bergen 6 inserts. You could go for the hardest one, the 95A, and that should probably work good. And then also, I don't know if you know this, but like you need to Bergen 6 insert. You need to sand down the top of the insert a little bit in order to get it to fit flush, because you see when you don't sand it down, this is how it looks. It doesn't fit flush. Oh, you can't see, I'm blocking. It doesn't fit flush, right? When you sand it down, this is how it looks. It fits perfectly. So you got to sand it down a little bit. And why this is also important is because why is it important? If you don't sand it down, you get a bit of a dead zone. So like you'll get like a point where the truck is sort of floating between the two bushings. Okay, nice that you did that. But yeah, also try to like remove the dead zone generally. They do have like a dead zone, so crank the trucks until you feel like the hanger engage the bushing of the lightest touches. Maybe I'll show you this one sec. So mine doesn't have a dead zone. Like I touch it, like I'm touching this shit very lightly, and the bushings are engaged. When there's a dead zone, you'd be able to like articulate the trucks quite a bit before there's a before you feel the bushing get engaged or like you feel resistance, right? Like with this, like on the lightest of touches, I can feel resistance immediately. So that's how you remove the dead zone. You just tighten it bit by bit until you can feel like the bushings engage immediately. But if there's a dead zone, it means you can sort of articulate it a little bit before then like feeling the bushings engage. And you want to avoid that. Why I say that, it gives you better center, engages the bushings better, and what else does it do? I don't know, bro. Yeah, engages the bushings better off the jump, more stability and more confidence to go into slides. So that's the advice I'd give you. But I think you're pretty good. Apart from the bushings, I think you'll slowly figure out everything else with time. Like, yeah, just find a steeper hill and you'll be progressing pretty fast. And I think you're good to go. So yeah, that's it from me today, guys. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Ollie. Thank you, Emma. S Ranked Techniques. Shout out. Shout out Shoreline Border, E Border, Jacob, Gideon. And yeah. Shout out that guy who deleted his comment. Pussy. You old bitch. Say that shit with your chest, man. Or don't say it at all. So yeah, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Yeah. Peace.